Alright, we've been at it for a good bit. The battery on the Kralik Dremel finally died, so I figured I'd show you my progress. Admittedly, it's not as far as I would have liked, but we did probably get some of the weight off of the log, and a couple deep grooves here that basically, hopefully, when I hit it with the matinace's axe style blade, it'll crack at least more of the way through. And then I put this piece here on to hopefully, once I get it broken off and in the woods, it'll actually continue to degrade further like that and turn into a burrow-like area for something else. Again, I don't know what I'm doing here, y'all. Doing my best to just help. But without chainsaw, without hatchet, without axe, and without any other means, we're just doing what we can. We'll try using the matinace tomorrow, possibly. Definitely gotta let the thing charge up some more, and I'll continue texting around and asking if anyone I know around here might be able to lend me their tools, or I mean, if 2 more people could just lend me their backs, we could easily pull this thing over into the tree line. But again, everybody busy and nobody want to help, so it makes sense. I just, depressing a bit. But we'll get it done. It already feels a little bit low. Just let me, maybe not by much, but we are getting it to move a little. Like I said, doing what little bit we can where we can. Outside of that, recent stuff that's been going on as I pack up. As I said, just got to pack in my little bits here. But another thing that's been going on, let me just flip that around, see if I can find a place to put it that ain't going to fall over. Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah. No? Yeah, okay. There we go. Yeah, that looks great. Looks like I'm pooping. Either way. Oh yeah. Let's just get our tools put up and we'll start heading home for the day. When we get this thing charged up again, we'll probably come out here and I'll see if I got a better cutting bit. I'm assuming that's what that bad boy there is for cutting and like doing the... I noticed as I went in more of an eye-like pattern, it started to cut better and wider. So I might be using this wrong as a cutting bit, but it's been working so far for me. Like I said, learning new things. The other thing is I'm just happy that this tool is very lightweight. I wouldn't mind walking out here with a chainsaw if I had one that was either A, fully charged, or B, fueled. But wish in one hand, you know the saying, I'm sure. Outside of that news, it's really just been kind of slow. Put in 100 applications, still looking for employment that's gainful, or not so much, just something that's worth walking into every day. And yeah, just as I'm not trying to like say that better or worse than anybody else here. It's just everybody that drives around, I implore you to think. Because again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't drive. If it's going to hurt you to walk the distance, then by all means, drive it. But do remember that climate change is happening. By 2050, according to the end of ice by I'll have to write it down. I'll do an actual video on it later. But according to the end of ice, where the polar ice caps are melting, and this was back in 2021, that we had until 2050 to basically end carbon emissions, bring them down to 0. Otherwise, by 2050, not only would it be we wouldn't be able to turn it around, but by 2050, the average temperature here where I'm at in Georgia would be around 150 degrees. And for those of you who don't know your physics and your human biology that well, a human body dies when it starts to get exposed to 120 degrees for prolonged periods. Really, our bodies are only meant to stay at about 98 degrees. And technically, you should be in an environment that's cooler than 98 degrees. But as I said, it takes extreme measures. For me, I'm capable of making the walking distance, so for the past 4 years or so, maybe longer, the only time I use a car is if I've got to go all the way to Atlanta, if I've got a friend heading in that direction anyway, or if I'm wounded or hurt in some way. Like when my knee's messed up or when I can't physically walk because of my hips, then yeah, I might catch a ride. But I tend to try to not ride if I can walk it. And when I do ride, I tend to like when Forget Me Not, a friend on here, and I go into town to hang out and have a coffee date or whatever, we park on Main Street, and then we walk the entire Cartersville main area. But that's because, and I'm not kidding y'all, try to think of it like that is the best way, because that's how I got to doing more activism, actually helping. Because yeah, y'all, me walking, for the rest of my life, always walking, never using a vehicle, never taking a plane, only walking, I might buy us a millisecond. It ain't gonna do shit. Not me alone. But I can go to sleep with a clean conscience, and that is a millisecond. Those milliseconds do add up. And like I said, is it the best method? No. Repair what you can repair. This shirt, almost 10 years old now, I think. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Maybe it's closer to 7 or 8. But been chewed on by the dogs and repaired. Lost a big patch in the back, replaced it with a sock. If you can repair your goods, then repair them. Don't buy fast fashion. These are little things that you can do that take no effort at all. If you want to really get those bonus points, and again, it's mostly for yourself, because trust me, I'm probably going to get some hate comments on this, if I get any comments at all. If I put it on Facebook, I'll definitely get a ton of hate comments. That place is just a cesspool. But it's because people get upset. And the best way I can think of it is, remember, hurt people hurt people. When someone is hurt or in pain or exhausted or stressed because their wife hasn't been around as much, their husband's been gone forever, someone's been pissing them off at work, numerous things can happen. But that stress, by our very nature as humans and as social animals, will take it out on someone that we see that we can take it out on. Hence, hurt people hurt people. Best way to stop that? 1, read more. I'm not kidding, this isn't a reading rainbow skit. If you read books, particularly books that are from a different stamp, for example, if I were to read a book, I would want to read a book about, say, an African man in Manhattan. Or I'd want to read a story about a Mexican fellow in Arizona. I want to read stories, and even better than that, if I could get Korean, someone from Korea, someone from Japan, someone from India, someone from Iran or Iraq. If you can see through someone else's eyes, which reading directly gives you that ability, you can start to empathize with people more. And through empathy, we can do better as people, do better overall. Because at the end of the day, that's kind of all we got. Because yeah, I will fail. We will all fail, friends. All systems fail. We cannot beat the ever stepping progress of, what is it, decay? It'd be easier if I weren't doing this on the side of the freaking road. To be honest, it'd be a lot easier if I had my computer open so I could be looking up articles and stuff as I talk to y'all. But I'm just letting the body rest for a minute because I was hunched over that tree for about an hour. And probably going to delete one of the videos that I was going to put on here because it was mostly just really annoyed with my fellow Americans for, shit they say on Facebook. And for genuinely being assholes to the rest of the world. And I will say that because it's just fucking true. But it didn't deserve all the spice I was putting on it because, y'all, we're all doing our best, I would hope. And if you can do better, then do better. Hell, if you're one of these corporate jackasses, well, maybe put a few dollars towards the needy. Maybe not just put it into your church pastor's pockets, but actually go and help. People shit on Hassan all the time, but Hassan and a group of creators went down to Cuba. And they went down to Cuba with some fat-ass stacks. Why? Because the American dollar goes further. And if you give them American dollars, they can trade those American dollars to other tradespeople. And basically, again, it helps. If you go into a poor area and you start throwing cash around like you're Masa Musa, the most famous and wealthy king in all of human history that I know of. The African king who, see, this is why I need books, but the African king who went from the bottom of Africa all the way up to what was England at the time, and then all the way back on the Golden Circuit or the Golden Trail. Mansa Musa, look him up. But if you go into an area and you just inflate it with cash that you have to spare, you'll help that area. You'll piss off the fucking major business owners because you can't, it gets harder to control, and people get controlled by their desperation. But, we gotta do something, you know? Aye. For now, I'm gonna go get my walking stick because I did not let that snap. I almost did. I like my sticks, y'all. I like what I do. And it ain't much. Admittedly, it ain't much. If I lived in a better city or a better area, I might be able to do more. I see the Dad Constructing Things is one of the websites, one of the YouTube channels that I see occasionally. And I like his stuff because he basically goes to, he's in Russia, I want to say, maybe Ukraine, somewhere that I can't even recognize the language of, but, which is why I think it's Skrillex. But either way, he's there, and he does things like go to overgrown playgrounds and takes hand tools or whatever he's got available, and he takes the grass out. He re-cleans it up. He polishes where he can polish. And I love that shit. I ain't got shit I can do around here like that because this is my area, y'all. This is what Georgia has to offer. Town is about 10 miles that way. Home is about 3 miles that way. And once you get into town, it's another 5 to 10 miles to get to anything that's actually like store, stopping point, rest stop, respite. I mean, this entire walkway has absolutely no place to sit, which is why I was hoping, desperately and naively perhaps, but hoping that someone in the neighborhood might be able to lend me a fucking chainsaw so that I could cut this thing into sections and more or less spread those sections out down the woodway through here, cutting them into little benches more or less. That way, maybe, just maybe, we could inspire trails, nothing but memories. Take nothing but memories, leave nothing but footsteps. But I'd like to take this thing, cut it into bench-sized pieces, and then leave them along this walkway. That way, ideally, maybe somebody who might want to get out and exercise might want to see this fine wooded countryside. They might have the ability. Because honestly, there are days that I would love to walk. But you gotta make the decision. Do I want to walk bad enough to walk 10 miles without a single place to sit? Do I want to walk that far with no place to get a drink? Or when the weather's bad, to get out of the direct sunlight? It feels a lot like a lot of our southern towns and places are being made specifically to keep you trapped. Because, again, this is where I grew up. I mean, that direction is where I grew up. But this area, New Harlot, is where I grew up. That's why I care. That's why I would like to see the kids of today get to enjoy things that I didn't get to enjoy. Like public parks, like being able to go and see each other and have third places to hang out. Because as an elder millennial, I grew up in that magically fucked up time that just that. I had roller skating rinks. We had a bowling alley. We had I don't think it was a dance hall, but it worked as a dance hall in the bowling alley. And we had those things until I got to middle school, in which case both things got shut down, torn down, and turned into collectively a McDonald's and a CVS. And here's the thing about the bowling alley and the skating rink. Skating rink costs $3 to get in, admission. But if you were a kid, free. If you were a high school student who brought in one of those little reading slips that they used to give you when you finished reading books and such, free. And as a small business owner that ran the place, if they recognized you as a good student or you were a member of whatever team or faculty thing, free. Why? Because they knew that they would make the money up elsewhere. And in that setting, they could. Unfortunately, we don't have those kinds of third places. Now you got CVS. You got AutoZone. You got crap. And please don't at me in the thing about, oh, well, I love those companies. Because I'm not knocking the business. I'm knocking the fact that there's no place for anyone to go. Again, if I want to go sit at the public library, I have to walk about 20 miles that way. And again, if I have the means to get something, you're looking at 20 miles with whatever you got. And you got to purchase something, well, then you're looking, well, a minute. I had a snake friend in this area a minute ago. I don't want to startle him if he is here, because he has moved from where I last saw him, and I could not identify him. So, we're going to be extra careful, because I don't want to step on my dangerous little friend. Oh yeah, also, just if we had a sidewalk, I wouldn't have to be watching for snakes in the grass. But again, a sidewalk is expensive. And Lord, how could we put in a sidewalk when we need to bomb kids in Iran? How could we do anything when we got to kill other people in other places? This is why you shouldn't allow those Republican cunts to tell you lies when they tell you, oh, we can't afford it. They can always find money to kill people. For some reason, they can't find money for health care. I'd say that's a failing of the system. I left it about here. Okay, I was remembering that piece of metal that I got, because it actually came from right there where those plastic cups were. I saw it sticking up and thought, hey, that's a fence post. Fence posts are pretty tough. Maybe that'll let me roll the log. I was wrong. That thing bent into a U in one try. Yeah, y'all. Try to go out and do something today to help somebody. Bonus points if you do it without any will to get a prize back. Try to break that American stereotype. Boy howdy, do we got... I keep hearing people say that America's getting ready to go through our 1,000 years of humiliation. I don't doubt it. Because, I mean, look at it, y'all. It's set up. And if we don't get to work fixing it, it will get worse. Kids are already, to my knowledge, I don't have kids, I don't watch kids, so I'm going highly by what I've heard from parents that I know and what I've heard from Facebook groups. Because, again, when I'm on Facebook, if you don't have a profile picture, like me, then I don't trust that you're an adult. I don't trust that you're a person half the time. When I look at your picture and it's just anime character 375 or a random meme image, all I look at, oh, it's a troll, or it's a child, or it's an idiot. I don't really deal with those people. I don't see the need to correct them because they're not good faith interlocutors. But again, sorry, and getting off topic there, when it comes to like the kids and whatnot, they're being taught not to read. They're being taught to be edgy and be tough. That they're being groomed by jackasses like Andrew Tate and those people because their parents are too busy trying to make the money to keep them alive. And again, that toxic masculinity is going to come back to bite us in the ass, friends. Collectively, all of us. It's the same thing as I hear people sometimes say about, oh, well, I don't have kids. Why should I pay the school tax? Do you want people to be illiterate? Do you want dumb people around you? Because if we don't have schools, that's how you get nothing but dumb people around you. That's how you get the second dark age. And yeah, y'all, I hate to say it, but I think we're quickly heading in that direction. But I don't want a doomer. And if you've watched my live streams in the past, this walk used to have trees here. You got an AutoZone and nice, barren, sandy dirt. Why? Profit. My guess is to go all the pop-up homes they put together in like less than 2 years. Yeah, all that less than 2 years. Technically less than a year. But they're trying to build it up into a big old fancy neighborhood is my guess. My biggest thing is they're doing this while also pushing more and more jobs out by AI. And more jobs are getting further and further away. Like I said, my main stopping point of getting a job right now is just that it's got to be within walking distance. And unfortunately, that auto zone's fully staffed. Like I said, you pull things apart from people. And when people don't see each other, speak to each other, deal with each other, they start to see each other as not people anymore. We're social animals. Don't let anyone lie to you and tell you otherwise. But I reckon I've rambled enough. Y'all be good. This is definitely going to be an actual long form video. And remember, if I can do this crazy shit to try to do good, y'all can do some crazy shit to try to do good too. I believe in y'all. Be good now.